We've got a small announcement to make today about some changes that we're making in terms of our fair trade and ethical purchasing policy that we're bringing in to church. So some of those changes you might not notice immediately, but one of the changes that you will notice is that we're going to do our refreshments slightly differently today. The heart behind what we're doing is there are always unintended consequences to certain behaviors, aren't there? So, if you park your car across from another car and there's not enough space between them, it might be that someone in a house down the road has a medical episode and they call an ambulance, but the ambulance can't get through. That's an unintended consequence of certain behaviors. And there are all sorts of things that we don't realize our behaviors have an impact further downstream. One of the areas that we often don't think very much about, because we live in a very kind of fast-paced world, is that our purchasing choices often have repercussions further down the supply chain. So for some companies, for instance, they use slave labor or they exploit their employees, and there are all sorts of things that happen that we aren't always aware of that happen further downstream. So we have our nice piece of clothing at a nice cheap price, but often in order to get the nice cheap price, somebody along the supply chain has been exploited. And as a church, we want to exercise our Christian values in all parts of our lives. So I'm talking about love and generosity and justice and fairness. And we want to not just love the people who are in front of us, but we want to, by our choices, love people who are far away from us too. So we have decided as a church, we haven't done this before, that we want to put in place some ethical purchasing policies so that when we purchase things as a church, we have looked into where they have come from, who the suppliers are, and making sure that there's no exploitation in the supply chain leading up to our consumption of those goods. So Maggie's going to come up with Rose, and I think is Lide here as well, and Sylvia, are they in the room? If you would all come to the front, you don't have to all talk, but we'd love to see you. So Rose is our deacon with responsibility for hospitality, and Lide and Sylvia head up the refreshments and catering side of things. And so why don't we show appreciation to them for everything they do?
Just wanted to say, first of all, a massive thank you to the refreshments and catering team. Sorry, I'm stood in front of you, because you do an amazing job. And I think the heart of hope has always been to give it a really, really warm welcome. And that's always been the case, always. So what's happening today is just, another step up, which is lovely. Rose is wearing our new aprons. I hope you like them. They're very classy. Damien's explained the heart of this, and so I hope you will scan that QR code. It will be in the canteen as well. You'll notice that things are laid out a bit differently when you go in there. So we're working on self-service. We want to serve you, but we also, we're just trying to make it a bit more streamlined out there. So when you go into the coffee lounge, it won't be laid out as normal. So if you turn right, to your right, you'll see that there's some flasks full of coffee for you to serve yourselves. Straight ahead of you, there's tea and hot chocolate, if you'd like that. Nice selection of fruit teas for Sue. And then cold drinks will be to the side. And I think that beautiful cake is somewhere in the mix as well. So we're expecting there to be a few teething problems. So please bear with us. It looks really, really nice and inviting. But yeah, just bear with us. We're going to tweak things over the coming weeks. And just to say, the tea and the coffee today are all ethically sourced and fair trade. Coming is sugar and biscuits, but we're using up our old stock first. So if you're wondering, why have we got this sugar? There is a reason behind it. We're trying to steward well what we've been given. Rose, do you want to add anything?
The church has grown, over the past year. We've got a lot of people here now, and the way it's been set up now is going to reduce the lines and the queues and everything like that. And we just want to also appreciate Maggie for setting this up. Actually, she's done so much for us, and she's made our job much, much easier for us. We just want to appreciate her as well. Yeah, so if you have any problems and you come in there, look for the ladies and the men that will be wearing this apron, and we'll be helping you out. And then if you've got kids, because of the hot water, we would suggest that you come with them so that they don't burn themselves. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, just to add to that, the hot water and the hot drinks are in plunge pot flasks, so it wouldn't be easy for kids to access it, but just please be mindful of that, that we've got signs out and stuff. Yes, but we'll be hovering around behind those flasks. Thank you all.
Thank you.